Hi, I'm Ben Scarfield from Kilburn and Strode LLP. I'm a trademark attorney here to advise on the Dassault Systèmes 3D Fintech Challenge, helping startups with their intellectual property.
So what is a trademark?
A trademark is fundamentally an indication of origin for goods or services. That is obviously the academic description. In real life, that can be significantly more complex. What these startups need to consider is essentially their brand. So as they start building more and more impetus with their product, their service, their whatever technology it is they're developing, it's where this goodwill and where the essentially momentum is going to be attached to as a brand for investors to look to.
So, I mean, a lot of people, their first concern is to obviously get a good website domain. So isn't it enough to just get all your names out there on the Twitter handle website? I mean, do you really have to go through the whole official trademarking legal procedure?
Obtaining your domain and your social media handles is a good start. The difference between a trademark registration and those kind of rights is a trademark registration is your monopoly. You are the sole person able to use that mark for those goods and services in your application or registration in that designated territory.
So when would you advise, like how big should a company be, or when would you advise that they have to go and look at these issues?
Well, you should consider your brand obviously from the start, because that is what you're going to be referring investors to the entire time. The danger is that obviously because of the nature of monopoly rights, if there is a third party with an identical or similar trademark registration, you could be found to infringe that registration. The biggest issue here is potentially the threat of court proceedings, which most small companies are obviously going to have to seriously reconsider how they approach, may not have the funding to defend themselves, and could involve a complete rebrand, which of course could be disastrous.
So can you just go to a website and register it, or what's the easiest and cheapest, quickest way to do it?
You register a trademark at various intellectual property offices. There are territorial, so the UK, an EU-wide trademark registration. You can file directly at the offices, or you can employ a trademark attorney or solicitor to file on your behalf and draft the specification of goods and services for you.
So why would you choose a lawyer as opposed to doing it yourself?
Well, that is the age-old question being a trademark attorney. What we try and do when we draft a specification is, first and foremost, we conduct searches to establish whether there's risks in the marketplace that you should be aware before filing. This could be third-party risks. This could be an inherent registrability issue with your chosen mark. Once filing, we try and foresee the best strategy in terms of where to file, when to file, which goods and services to claim given your business model, and how that you can best essentially make use of your registered rights. When you file an application, you only get one chance to claim the goods and services in question without having to file another application. So it's essentially setting yourself up for the best possible solution in that territory.
And does it go on forever, or is there a time limit?
Trademark registration can last forever. They are 10 years and require renewals after that initial 10 years. If you keep paying the renewal fees and subject to various third-party actions, cancellation actions, you can continue to maintain that mark forever.
So any simple one-sentence piece of advice for fintech startups?
Be aware of third parties in the marketplace with similar marks, especially if they're registered. The last thing you want is to gain investment and then have to rebrand and lose it.
And just to follow on, does it matter if it's abroad? What if you're just thinking of the UK? I mean, but these days we're global. How does that work?
International rights can interact. It depends where you're looking in the next 6 months, year, 5 years, as to where you will need to file and where's worth while filing. Intellectual property rights are not policed. You'll have to police them yourself. So there's nobody's going to come up to you and tell you that someone's infringing your rights and do something about it. It's another consideration. You don't want to pay several £1,000s for a registration in sub-Saharan Africa if you're not going to enforce it.
Right. Thanks a lot. But the main thing is to register in the country you're operating in.
Yes.
Thank you.